Okay. What I'm going to do here, um, I have here the structure of Revelation on some bed sheets, and Mrs. Barry helped me. She drew the pictures. I did the layout and the lettering, but it shows the structure of Revelation, and Revelation definitely has a definite structure. Um, One thing happened at at the Rolla Church not long ago, and Don Shelton came that last not yesterday, but a week ago yesterday, and he had the service there, and to my surprise, um, it was a very modernistic kind of service. I was really surprised from coming from 3ABN that way. Now Don Shelton is Danny's cousin, obviously from his father's side, and so the thrust of the thing was to get the people into the church. You know, that seems to be the thrust. Get the people into the church. It doesn't make any difference what they really believe or not. Just get the numbers up. And so that was obvious in his thrust. And I was coming from 3ABN. I thought that I wasn't ready for that. But that's what it was. And he made the statement. He said, "We've got to get away from all this Daniel and Revelation stuff." He said, we have to love the people and love them into the church and make everybody feel welcome and so forth. And he said, we have to get rid of our old stance where we're talking about the Protestant churches and the Catholic Church and all that. And we have to evangelize, you see. So the thrust that we have is not that we're getting ready to give a message of warning. In fact, my understanding is we even run hospitals with the Catholic Church now, you know.
Oh, yeah.
And we have things like that going on. So the problem I see is how do you warn against the Roman system when you're, and I hate to use the term, you're in bed with them.
Right.
How do you do it? You can't do that. You know, it doesn't work, does it? So the name of the game now seems to be numbers, and we have our churches are full of people, unfortunately, who know nothing about the loud cry, nor what it's about, nor what the information is that we need to have to give a loud cry. Our church was put in motion for a certain purpose, wasn't it?
Sure.
It wasn't necessarily to get big. It was, and it's not necessarily was put in to give the Baptist message of, you know, Jesus loves you, and that's our personal message. We all have that personal message to give, but we were put into motion to give a warning message, weren't we?
Sure.
And it seems like there's very little stomach for that today. I kind of liken to this to the Jewish church at the first coming of Christ, the first coming of the Messiah. They had the information that the world needed for the first coming, didn't they?
Oh, yeah.
What did they do with it?
They put it on the back burner.
They kept it to themselves and they sat on it. In fact, when Herod asked, you know, all about the first coming, they had to get into the scriptures and tell him, didn't they? You know, he's supposed to come from Bethlehem, you know, and so then he killed all the baby males, you know, and so forth. But now here at the second coming, who has the information the world needs for that?
We do.
We do. Are we about to give it to the world?
We'll wake up.
No, we're not doing that. The message that we need to give, we're not giving, and so I think that that really, we have people that say that we're Babylon now. I've heard people say, oh, the Seventh-day Adventist Church has become Babylon. And my argument against that is, no, we know too much to be Babylon. Babylon's Babylon because Babylon is in ignorance and needs to know. And Babylon has, what does she have coming?
Destruction.
A loud cry coming.
Oh, yeah.
Do we have a loud cry coming?
We have one to give.
We have one to give, but we don't have one coming to us.
No.
So in my mind, what we see in the organized church is we see wicked Jerusalem, who has the truth, knows the truth, isn't about to follow the truth nor to give it.
Right.
And who's in the worst? Which boatload is in the worst trouble? Is Babylon in the worst trouble, or is wicked Jerusalem in the worst trouble?
Jerusalem.
Wicked Jerusalem is in the worst trouble because she knows to do well, but she refuses to do it. Well, several years ago, the General Conference had the Biblical Research Institute had a series of meetings in Silver Spring, and they put out a booklet, and Mrs. Berry got a hold of that booklet, and in the booklet she found an outline for the book of Revelation. And what had happened was, as far as I can put together, a person who was an expert in English out of one of the Eastern schools, universities, he had a specialty where he would take an author's work and he would read through it, and he liked to see how the author of the book put his book together, how he presented things, and that was one of his specialties that he liked to do. And so one day, evidently, he decided that he would take the book of Revelation, which I don't even know if he was a Christian or espoused to have any religion at all, but it was a literary work that everybody seemed to have trouble with. So he wanted to take it and look at it and see how it was put together. And when he looked at the book of Revelation, he went through it, he was amazed. He had an eye and a mind for picking up on things. And when he got done, he was amazed. And reportedly, he has said, "I've never seen a book so complicated and yet so utterly orderly as the book of Revelation is." And when we think about it, that shouldn't be such a surprise. It was put together and concocted by the most powerful mind in the universe, wasn't it? And so it is a complicated book, but it's very, very orderly. And what he found out was that the book of Revelation has a first line of prophecy that runs from the crucifixion, A.D. 31, when Christ ascended and his ministry began, and it ends with the second coming. That's the first line of prophecy. Then, and right at the center of the book, between chapters 11 and 12, it stops. And then it goes over here in chapter 12. It backs up clear to the fall of Satan in heaven. This is one section. Start and stop. Now we start here with Satan's fall in heaven. It quickly comes down to Satan coming to this earth, being kicked out of heaven. And then it goes right on and winds up at the New Jerusalem coming down in the millennium. So what Revelation does is it takes two separate sweeps through our time. You have this line of prophecy, and then you have this line of prophecy, and it takes two separate sweeps through our time. And to get the whole picture, then you have to get both sides of it, don't you?
Right.
Okay. There's so many things here that I hope I can remember them all. He found out that there were four prophetic heavenly scenes and prophetic outlines. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then there were 4 over here. 1, 2, 3, 4. John 4 times saw a vision here, and 4 times he saw 4 separate visions here. Each one of these is a separate vision. And then he found out also that in the visions, more or less the same thing always happened. He would get a vision, and then there would be a heavenly scene, and then there would be a prophetic outline. Now, on the first one here, the prophetic, at the end of the 7 letters to the 7 churches, you're at the end of time. This is Laodicea at the end. Yeah. Okay, you start with Ephesus, and you wind up with Laodicea here. Okay, so that's the second coming here. In the other, and then when you get to the end here, there's just a heavenly scene, and then you have the descriptions of the coming of the holy city down and so forth, and the end of time there. Okay. Now, these other ones, you have a heavenly scene, you have a prophetic outline. This is what he saw. He saw the most holy place. The investigative judgment begin, and he had then in the prophetic outline gives the outline of this, and then there was always something here like the seals, and it would go through. There were 7 seals, and you'd go through. It would go through the first 6 seals, and then it would stop. It wouldn't give the 7th one. There was always an interlude, and it told what God's people were doing, something about them. This is chapter 7. They get sealed, and then right after that, you have the 7th seal. And then at the bottom of the chart, it's an end time event. So each one of the separate lines of prophecy, each vision goes toward the second coming of Christ here. Here's Christ amongst the churches, and here we have the judgment opens, and here we have the judgment closes. The censer is thrown down, and here Christ is measuring the people to see whether it's time, whether they're ready for Him to come, and so we see that as each one of these scenes brings us closer to the second coming of Christ, and within each scene you go from wherever you start on this highway to the second coming from the crucifixion, then you go from that point to the second coming at the bottom. Can you see what I'm saying? Right. As it goes this way, every time when it goes down to the bottom, it goes to the second coming. So see how orderly it is? It's orderly going this way. It's orderly going that way. And in each one of the scenes, it always does the same thing. You have a heavenly scene, you have a prophetic outline, you have an interlude where something that 7 trumpets. You just go to trumpet number 6, then you have an interlude, and you have an end time event in this, and then, but in this one here, the